मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. Dear friends, today we are looking into the summary of 10th chapter called Vibhuti Yoga. All the chapters are yogas, all the 18 chapters. God's glories are described here. It is always good to remember the 18 chapters are divided into 3 groups of 6 chapters each, called Prathama Shatka, Madhyama Shatka, Charama Shatka. First 6 chapters talks about Jivatma, that is ourselves. From chapter 7th to 12th about God, Paramatma. And the unity of this Jivatman and Paramatman, the last final group of 6 chapters from 13th chapter to 18th chapter. It culminates into last chapter Moksha, realization, that is unity of both Jivatman and Paramatman, man and God. So this is the scheme of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. If we remember this particular grouping, it is easy for us to understand the chapters we read, we study. So about God, this particular chapter, 10th chapter, God's glories are described here. Now, this starts from right from 7th chapter itself. 7th and 9th, a lot of glories of God is discussed again. Though it is called Vibhuti Yoga, the revision of 7th and 9th takes place here because Sri Krishna is the world teacher. God himself is teaching. So he uses all the methodologies that we come across in the modern world 5,000 years back. A unique way of narrating, unique way of driving the point home. Whatever may be the student, now the teacher complains nowadays, slow learner, oh, you are a dullard. But for Sri Krishna, all are equal. Even the most slow learner, slowest learner is brought to him, he will teach. That is the uniqueness of his teaching. Now Sri Krishna very nicely will take us from where we are. That is another great quality of the master, great master. Our understanding of God, we come across through Upanishads that God is the creator, Karta. Ishvara is the Karta, he is the creator. He has created this world, he has created all. But there ends our knowledge, we don't explore. Sri Krishna asked Arjuna in this chapter, you are asking God as creator, but your knowledge of God as creator is incomplete. When we think God as creator, what will happen? Our understanding will be limited to God has created. Just like a carpenter has created a table, a furniture, God has created. But that is incomplete. Our understanding of God is incomplete. We also, Hindi knowing people will understand, Sabka Malik Ek, that we will have. But again, that My ek is only ek. That means my Malik is the Malik of all. Your Malik is no good. So this will become that ek will bring headache. So this sort of fanaticism will come. Even in that also we are not achieving the oneness which is expected of us. If only we have completed our knowledge of understanding what is God, this problem would have been solved. We got stuck up at creation level itself. And we never asked what material God has used to manufacture. Carpenter uses wood. Jewelry is made of gold. So suppose we wear some golden ring or necklace or something on our body. I want to have the vision of gold. Elderly man will tell, you are fool. You are wearing gold chain and then you want to see gold. Gold is with you all the time around your neck. Can't you see it? You are wasting your time in order to see gold. So this particular incompleteness, in order to go, that only this chapter is commented upon, told by Sri Krishna to Arjuna. When we do not ask the question, what material this creator has used? Creator has created me. Is it like a carpenter? I am some other material, raw material, and God has made me. So this question, when it rises in our mind, we will explore. God is just not a creator. He has created out of himself. Like web is created by a spider. From its own body, the raw material comes to make the web. The Upanishads speak of this example. God has made us with the raw material. Many people, they are worried about ghosts. They have asked, have you seen ghosts? Are they real? But God has made us not with one ghost, 5 ghosts, Panchabhutas, 5 elements. So every one of us have got 5 ghosts in us. So when we know this material, we are not worried. We are part and parcel of God. I did not have to do very big tapasya, only I have to remove the ignorance. The necklace that I am wearing, the chain I am wearing, the ring I am wearing is gold. I am with gold. I know gold. Slowly we reach to that level, I am that gold. God has made out of himself, I am made by his self. He is the raw material in me. That gives us a lot of strength. We don't feel God has created something different. We only get stuck up and we want miracles. Another meaning, lower meaning for Vibhuti is miracle. We seek miracles. God means miracles. Godly person means miracles. If he cannot perform miracle, he is not a godly person. Divinity means making miracles, magic. We don't want to know about magician. We only want to enjoy the magic. All the problems come from there. We don't want the truth. God himself is telling the truth, but we don't want to listen to him. That is why this chapter. Vibhuti Yoga, glories of God, which will culminate into the 11th and then 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga. That is the climax of God, definition of God, work of God, all about God in this from 7th chapter to 12th chapter. Now we are looking into this 10th chapter. So Sri Krishna asks Arjuna, so you have that understanding of God as creator, but with what he has created, the whole universe is created. The raw material also is God. Everywhere you see me only. Whatever is there, sentient in this world, I am there. So this is what he made it clear in this chapter. And half of the chapter, more than half, about 24 slokas, we have his glories. I am this, I am that, among this, I am this. All the things that we see in this universe, he has covered. Animals, trees, everything, all objects that we perceive. In us, he is the mind. In us, he is the consciousness. We don't get into all the things. But the first thing he will tell is, I am the consciousness, Chetana, in all the beings. That means because of God we are able to breathe. Because of His grace, His presence, we are able to live. And then lastly we'll end. Why you want to know all these things? Wherever, easy technique I am telling you, wherever you see something great, I am present there. Because of me only that happens. It's very simple, straight away. Why Arjuna, why you want to bother to know all these things? You need not have to know all these things. Take it for granted, I am there everywhere. Without me this cannot go on this world. You cannot live without me. So this point blank he will tell. For this we need faith, of course. Arjuna is not ready for this. He is not ready for this. Is still another chapter Vishwarupa has to show himself. Then only he will get frightened and believe that tomorrow we shall see that. Today, in the 10th chapter, he is not ready. He says that no, I cannot. The God from one to many has come. That is what in this chapter is highlighted. From one consciousness, many, with God so many forms. In that he will touch female concept of God, goddess. In woman I am such and such. That means the basic qualities of a woman, God. That means we are debating God is woman or man. But he is both and beyond. He is man, he is woman, and his consciousness, which is neither neuter gender. It is neither male, feminine or masculine. It's very clear in Hinduism. We are fortunate to have this highest philosophy. They have reached the pinnacle of realization. So that we have to protect it. That means we have to follow Gita, Bhagavad Gita. We should be soaked into that. One has become many, many has to become one. This is the formula. One has become many because we are split into so many things. Because we have desire. The bubble Though from water it is born, it only can live a few moments. It has its ego and it suffers because of that. Whether it likes or not, it has to burst and then become one with water, its source. But this one, when we do it consciously, it's a joy. That is spiritual sadhana. I want it. I want to get out of this birth and death cycle of birth and death. I want to realize the truth. When this comes to us, happily we can do that. If it is forced on us, it will be depression, Vishada, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. It all started when we forget what is our duty, responsibility. So among these glories of God, one thing, glory is not miracle. We should not, that miracle mongering should go from us. In order to, when we know the glories of God, our love to God should increase. Our attachment to God, to the truth, should increase. You give me this, that will become a bargain, that will become business. So many glories in everything he has told, but here it's very, very interesting to know. Out of the sacrifices, the repetition of God, I am the Japa Yajna. Vijnanam Japa Yajnaosmi. I am the repetition that we think that repetition of God's name doing Japa is very inferior. Even doing sadhana also we expect some circus. From God we expect circus. We also do circus. That is all because of Maya, illusion. So simple repetition of God's name will take us to God. Because he is telling that repetition, I am that great sacrifice, not how much ghee you put into the fire, how many days you perform the yajna. I am that repetition of God's name is, I am that, I am present there, I am that sacrifice. What more we need? And again, why these problems are coming? Why my mind becomes restless? Because is the mind. You have been trained to take care of that mind, but we are not training the mind. God himself is neglected. We abused our mind, telling that it is weak, good for nothing. So God is telling, I am present as your mind. Come on, it is a great challenge. Make use of me. It is your friend, it is your enemy. Elsewhere he will tell, Uddhared Atmanatman. You have to raise yourself by yourself. No God there. He is telling, I will lift you up, Arjuna. No. At times he will tell, surrender to me. How to handle this confusion? When we understand ourselves, we can handle this confusion. Because we are in various moods. We are controlled by our moods. And these moods will take us from one point to another point. When we understand this thoroughly, then we will be able to handle our mind. Never mind, that attitude will come. No matter, never mind. A simple formula we have to remember. Because we are not the matter, we are spirit. No matter. Never mind. Mind also a settled matter. But that matter also is God. That is the beauty of this chapter. We have been told that you are spirit, this world is mithya, it is a lie, it is unreal. Don't care about this world. Don't look at anybody as your friends. All are your enemies. All matter. You are the spirit. Aham Brahmasmi. You go to a forest and do tapasya there. But Sri Krishna is not telling that. You are hating as matter, as good for nothing. That is also myself. And your body, that is also myself. Your mind, I am that. You can't tell anything of your own. You don't own anything. It is all only one consciousness. So this will help us, because our day starts, some people we don't like, some situations in our life we don't like, then we feel miserable. Then what will happen? How can we do sadhana with that miserable mind? So no dislikes, no hatred. That means we have to give up love also. Raga Dvesha, he will tell Arjuna in this chapter also. Raga Dvesha. Your attachment to a form of God, if without understanding the whole nature of God, the completeness of God, will lead us to attachment. We want to see that same way. Baby Krishna, I love. Same way we want to worship. That help we have to take. We have to use that as a tool. Yes, we love that. But what is my mind? How I am handling with my mind? Do I have the simplicity of that baby Krishna? That ever cheerful Krishna. So we have so many calculations, so much of defilement, so many things we gather. Then how can we keep up this worship of Sri Krishna? Unless Sri Krishna becomes a conscious thing for us. He is ever present in us, He is ever conscious in us. That awareness should come. When that awareness is there, that is what sadhana. Then only we will appreciate all this Aneka Swarupa. Now, for example, Guru Maharaj Ji has given Hanuman is there, and then Radha Krishna. Then we have Durga, we have Ganesha. Why this Aneka Swarupa? Because the enlightened soul made it very clear to all the disciples, you need to have this worship. Arjuna exactly asked same thing Krishna. I am not ready for your beyond going Sachidananda. I want to know about your glories. Please enumerate it to me. He will ask. Then Sri Krishna, so compassionate, he will explain. This is necessary in our sadhana. Everything will lead us to one realization. But now we need, when we practice, we need the brahmacharya of Hanumanji. We should not think, a wife should not think about husband and sit for meditation. What will happen to that meditation? At least that half an hour, that 1 hour, you should forget that you are a sannyasi. So then only we can reach that oneness. Later on, okay. Later on, okay, you lead your householder's life. That is why that Hanuman is there. And Radha and Krishna is there inseparable. They are Brahman and Shakti. The Durga aspect is necessary in us because we have to be aware of our strengths. The evil force also is a strength in us. We have got evil and we have goodness also in us. Both have got strength. So this Divine Mother Durga is the positive energy which will destroy the negative energy. So this aspect is necessary for our sadhana. And Ganesha, always cheerful, very happy. All he's never worried at all. Even his that younger brother Subramanya Swami, that Subramanya, he is Murugan, they call, very popular. He is worried, he's got responsibility, father has given all this army, has to look after on Devaganas and all these things. But he is very happy. Prasanna Vadana. And that is necessary. Without that we cannot do sadhana. With long faces we cannot do sadhana. Satchidananda will come ultimately. But now at least when we sit we have to be happy. Seeking happiness, going on crying is not going to help us. So our Guru has thought like this and kept all these things, Aneka Swarupa. Exactly Arjuna asks in this chapter, I want to know about your glories. But other shades, please explain to me. I am not ready for this, going beyond this consciousness business. Then he will explain. So this is a beautiful chapter. We will get full benefit when we don't get stuck up at creation and miracle mongering. So this is the platform for the next chapter. Tomorrow we shall discuss that Vishwarupa. Now this Sri Krishna's Vibhuti, one more beautiful thing he will tell. Among the games, I am gambling. Very interesting. So whole Mahabharata is because of this gambling business. And how much life is ruined in today's world also, this gambling. Whether it is horse races or betting on numbers and things like that. And unfortunately, we seek for this gambling also religion. When I came to Malaysia, one man met me in the ashrama. He came to me. Swamiji, can you give me the number? What number? I don't know the number business. In India we don't have this knowledge. I told, what number? No, this number game is there. We go to Buddhistic monastery. There 50 ringgit if you give, they give a number. And if that strikes lottery, then we give more money to him. If it doesn't strike, that 50 ringgit over. So that number we want to give, because he must be a Hindu, I think. Why to go to Buddhist monastery? Our Hindu Swami should get 50 ringgit. I told, one thing you see, my brother, is we have so much expenditure in ashrama. So if I know the number, I myself will play that. I don't know any number. Oh, I did not think about this. That means we are suffering from ignorance. Going to Panditji, good date and all this almanac is okay. But you make me all right. No, you go to doctor for that. I have got cold, you give me something, you are a Panditji like that. No. How it will be? So we are all children of God. If I have that strength, you also have that strength. Maybe dormant in you. You also can make it, arise it, awaken. So this knowledge should come to all the devotees of God, all the children of God. So then we will not be cheated. As we use the doctor, we use the priest, we use the all the guides, teachers. From everybody we learn, we are humble enough. And for that only this Vishwarupa. God has taken all the forms in the world. But in Vishwarupa also, we look at God separately as Vishwarupa God. And I don't find a place in myself, I don't see there. We see good is there, bad is there, all gods are there, goddesses are there. Because he has told in Bhagavad Gita that I am the Indra among gods. But again he will tell, these gods themselves don't know me. So how funny the language. I am in you but you are not in me, is the language he will use. Because we are not aware of him. We are still under the influence of ignorance. God is there in me, I am in you. He has promised, he keeps his promise. That is why we worship him. When he says I am in you, we are not feeling him. We are not feeling that he is present in us. Because that is why we are not in him. We surrender to him, then we become one with him. But we are not surrendering. Only by lips we are telling we are surrendering. So this Vibhuti Yoga should make us realize God not only creator, but out of his own raw material he has made us. That spark of divinity is there in us. We are potentially that. That is why Swami Vivekananda will tell. Each soul is potentially divine. But divinity is there in us. That spark of divinity is there in all of us. Maybe very evil-minded, bad people, our enemies, so we hate them. In them also is there. Suppose we look at only that particular spark of divinity in our enemy, what will happen? We will not have any enmity with him. That is going beyond dislikes and dislikes, love and hatred. That only will bring us real peace. Otherwise, only calculations. So this Vibhuti Yoga, when somebody is a drug addict comes to us, if he is a gambling, drug addiction, everything evil also is present there. So this particular aspect, every devotee, every one of us should be aware of it. Then only we will be able to, otherwise simply we chant the chapter 10th, all glories are there. What actually is glory? What is there, not there in that? What glory does not belong to him. And we go for miracles, some small little things. It happened in Vatican some years back, not this Pope, 2-3 popes before. He only uses Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce car. Rolls-Royce company will not make like our Myvi or this thing. Now Ferrari and all they have come, but Rolls-Royce is very expensive car with 8 doors. All that car, new model was taken to Pope, and Pope, that rich man, he has donated to Pope. Mr. Pope, Christ could never dream of it. I am presenting it to you. Then those popes were at least more conscious. Oh, yes, Christ would not have dreamt about it. But alas, Christ could bring the dead alive, which I can't do. Again, of course, this is not this example I am giving because we look at God as a miracle magician. He performs miracles for us. How cheap it is to make God a magician to do miracles. When He says that the stuff I have made you with is myself. So that the sooner the better we realize that the spark of divinity is there in us, in our friends, in our neighbors, in everybody, whatever religion they may belong to. But their ways may be different, not that we have to go and embrace them. As human beings, that spark of divinity is there in them also, we salute it from a distance. We need not have to go and tell, oh, your way, my watch is correct, your watch is wrong. All this not necessary. Say hello to them, no hatred, but from a distance. In this I want to narrate one incident. Sri Ramakrishna was doing puja of Kali in Calcutta. As a 17-year-old boy, he went there and all his life story, we are not getting into that. So one day, everybody calls him Paramahamsa, realized soul, and people come to meet him, see him, clarify their doubts. In Calcutta city, there was a famous prostitute called Ramani. That Ramani came to see the Kali temple. Sri Ramakrishna is very fussy about his food and what he takes and all these things, great yogi. When this lady comes, he will salute, oh my mother, you have come in this form. This is what Sri Krishna means by narrating his glories. Good, bad, he is among the snakes, among tigers, all these things he is telling, among elephant, of everything. Birds, he is Garuda. Technically, if you look into this, oh God, everything God. But we are missing in that. We are not putting ourselves in that. If we put ourselves in that, that divinity is there in me, that spark of divinity is there in me. He has promised, I am your mind. Why I am neglecting my mind? God is there in my mind. Why should I not train it properly, tame it properly, use it properly? Why should I get depressed? Why should I run to a psychiatrist? When God Himself is sitting in my mind and is handling my mind, why not I allow God to lead me? We don't do that. Most of us, we have belief in the psychiatrist, we don't believe in God. So this, that is why this yoga, this 10th chapter, this Vibhuti Yoga, is making it very clear to us. And in this aspect, we have to see how when we get stuck up, what will happen. From Vivekananda's famous quotation, God has created man, and man has created God. When we don't know the divinity of God and His power of the creation, with what material, raw materials He has made this creation, we will create our own God. And we get confused about that God. God is she or he or it. My God is correct. I believe in Divine Mother. I don't believe in Father. All these things will come when we have this. We create our own God. God has created man and man has created God. Because we don't understand God. We never try to understand God. We never look into His glories. We only perceive Him as we are. At the most, because He is God, we give Him 4 hands or 8 hands to Divine Mother. So that's all. And our Vedas talk about Sahasra Purusha, that Purusha Sutta. What is that? We only put that one, we understand that Upanishad and put hundreds of heads for Mahavishnu. We forget to see those hundreds of heads among my friends and enemies. That God has become my friend and my enemy. My enemy because he wants to teach a lesson to me. My friend because he wants to give me strength, moral support, love. Love and hatred, both are there. And we have to solve that problem, then only we can understand, realize God. That is why Swami is another famous quotation from Vivekananda's. Serve God in man. These enlightened souls, when they quote something, they will quote in such a way the things that are available in the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, they have realized the truth. That's why they get this vocabulary. Serve God in man. But we are searching for God. We are searching for God in temples. And that temple, when we come, that temple we have to take it home, take it everywhere, to our workplace. Take it, because all this temple business only happened in the battlefield. A temple atmosphere has come. Sri Krishna is teaching Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Then that particular time, that battlefield Kurukshetra has become a temple. God is teaching. So that means what is bad, what is good. Immediately after this Bhagavad Gita, there is bloodshed. So all these things, when we look at it in the what you call, in a holistic way, then only we will be able to understand. Otherwise, this naughty Krishna we can't catch. He will be alluring us all the time. That is his habit. He will be all that this thing. He will be standing there. He will come here. He will come there, and all these things. It's very difficult to understand Sri Krishna unless he reveals himself to us, and he will reveal himself to us when we explore it, when we do our homework. Without that, it's not possible. We have to put forth at least that self-effort, because he says, I am in your consciousness. You have become sentient because of me. I am present in you as consciousness, as Chaitanya. I am your mind. Among all the organs in your body, I am your mind. So this is very clear. Nobody can be much more clearer than this. Let us pray to Sri Krishna that make our lives useful, purposeful, by understanding things properly, and with a proper attitude we do the sadhana. Whatever difficulties we have, whatever limitations we have, instead of brooding over those limitations, we get along with life. And in this, if I am not able to love whole humanity, at least I should remove that poison called hatred, and I should not hate anybody. That is the need of the hour. So with that we progress spiritually. If hatred is removed from our minds, then spiritually we progress. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam देवकी परमानंदं कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुम्